Are you live?
Hello. Good evening. Sorry, we're just checking all the tech works. We've not done one of these before. I was going to do the disclaimer in a minute, but I'll do it now because it's our first go at going live. So if anything goes wrong or any naughty words slip out, we are sorry. It's a bit of a learning curve for all of us. So I'm Gemma. This is Laura. We are the two faces behind Tired Mums Coffee. It's lovely of you all to be here. It's nice to meet you, sort of virtually. Sorry, we're still fiddling around with the tech. We're at Grandma Maggie's house tonight, which is my mum. Grandma Maggie actually features in some of the coffees and part of the brand, as you'll probably see it as we go along. And we've also got Nina with us, who's our lovely VA, who's agreed to support for the evening. So if we're looking that way, it's usually at her for a little bit of direction.
Yeah, thanks to Maggie for letting us take over a kitchen. We might have rearranged it a bit, but we'll put it back together at the end, promise.
Yes, better had, we'll get in trouble.
Okay, so should we kick off then? So to get us started then, do you want to talk a little bit about how the idea came about for Tired Mums Coffee and why we got to where we are now?
Probably a bigger place to start. So for us, Laura and I have got 4 girls between us, and the first 2 are similar age and the second 2, I think there's 2 weeks between them. So we had our maternity leaves together. This second maternity leave was a lot harder, I think it's fair to say, for both of us. There's a lot more cut off, a lot more isolated. I drank an awful lot of coffee because none of my kids sleep, just don't seem to make them that sleep. And I found it a real struggle. And I found it really hard, even though I had a lot of support around me. I'm very lucky in that respect. I found it really hard to be honest about how I felt. There's just such a, I don't know, the words wouldn't come out of my mouth, or I don't know. I just really, really struggled with it. About 11 months in to our maternity leave, my other half rang me because he'd heard of maternal suicide, and she actually took the baby with her, which I'm going to get emotional again. I'm trying not to. Stuck with both of us all the way through. And for me, it really resonated because I'm very lucky. I have a lot of support. I wouldn't be able to do all this and work like I do if I didn't. And I really, really struggled. So I couldn't imagine how people who perhaps didn't have that support would feel. And I couldn't imagine how somebody had got to the point where they felt that that was the only option. And nobody noticed. And from doing a bit more research into it and things, I realised that sort of maternal suicides, especially in the first year after having babies, are a real problem. I wanted to do something to help. Couldn't really think of what to do. In my head, it was very much not about mum and baby anymore. It was about mum. There's lots of mum and baby stuff, and that's absolutely fantastic. But I was wondering about what support there is for just for mums, about conversations, about support, coffee and conversations, because let's face it, I think all of us mums do nothing but drink coffee. It just powers us through the day. I mean, initially, to be honest, I thought we were going to get a coffee ban. I said to Laura, we were at Banana Bends. I think it's our last catch up before we went back to work. And I told her sort of all of this, and I said, I want to do something. I think, let's get a coffee van. That's what we'll do. We'll go around, we'll have great conversations with mums, and we'll try and support whoever we can. And for me, it was just, if I could bring one person back from the edge or from feeling like that, then I'd succeeded. And that's, in essence, what Tired Mums is all about. I think that's it, really, isn't it? It's just how we formulated a plan, why I wanted to formulate the plan, and how we got to where we are, I suppose.
Yeah. I think that covers it. No, perfect. Okay. I think we did the right thing not buying a coffee van. We were on eBay, weren't we? Looking, and we almost put a bid in for the first one that we saw because we thought that was the way to go, but it turns out that's probably not the best way of having an impact.
I think that might have been sleep deprivation talking.
I think so.
Never mind. So do you want to move on to our key mission and our brand values?
Yes, yeah, I'll try and articulate them. We spent a long time kicking this around, really, because we were conscious that it's not a completely unique idea, but what we wanted to do in terms of blending community and coffee and support together was a bit unique. So we've kicked this around a lot, but in a nutshell, our mission is to use great coffee as a tool to support the motherhood community. And we're using the phrase 1 cup at a time because we know we can't change the world overnight, but if we can just do something to help, like Gemma said, if it's just helping one mum, then, we've done what we wanted to do, really. And the more people we can reach, the better. But we're still keeping our ambitions sort of slow and steady while we're getting going, really. But in the long run, we'd love to have a much bigger impact than that. And what we really want to do is to bring mums together and improve peer support for mums. And again, this is what Gemma said really, is we're focusing on mums, so we're not kind of trying to set up a mum and baby group. We want to try and improve peer support for mums and try and make that motherhood experience the best it can be, really, in any way that we can help with that. And we've talked a lot about trying to encourage good conversations as well. So having an honest conversation, a supportive conversation with people that can understand the position that you're in, so how you can get that help and how you can offer that help back out to other people as well. And we're not professionals in sort of mental health or or parenting or anything like that, but what we wanted to do was sort of help with linking people together, signposting, creating a community, and we do want to learn more about supporting people when they're having tricky times. So next week we're doing our mental health first aider training, so it won't make us experts, but we're going to have 2 full days out doing that.
I'm really excited about that, actually. Yeah,
me too. I think it's just, hopefully we'll be able to help people if they do come to us in distress, and just sort of sharing tips a little bit, really. And again, the signposting is really key with what we're trying to do. And in terms of our brand values, we've thought a lot about this as well, and we've summarised into sort of 3 or 4 key things, really. So we want our brand and the community that we build to be inclusive, non-judgmental, friendly and honest, and we've sort of kept that the whole way through. So any decisions that we've made as part of the business, we've stuck to those. You'll see it in our branding the whole way through. We've kind of stuck to those values, and we will keep those, I think, the whole way through the journey, no matter where it takes us. And we're going to be working with suppliers, and are working with suppliers that are in line with our values in one way or another. And hopefully going forward as well, we'll be going into partnership with people that are along those lines as well. And one of those people that's been helping us is Nina, that's in the next room now. So thanks again, Nina, for your help. And then a couple of other things just to note, really, is around we want to look after the environment with what we do. So decisions that we're taking, we're trying to do the best we can for the environment. It's not perfect, but we'll be on a journey with that. But we've thought about our packaging and how our, even our totes have made everything. We've been conscious of that, because we want to look after the planet and leave a legacy as best we can on that front. And we're also going to be supporting other organisations as well, because again, we can't do this on our own. So we're going to be looking at, we'll come on to it a bit later, but donating some of our coffee revenue to other organisations, and donating some of our coffee as well to other groups, try and give back and work together. We're not on our own on this at all.
No, and it might be a good point, if anybody's got any ideas or is part of any of these sort of local groups and wants to get in touch, or has got any ideas they want to sort of send to us, please do, because we're looking for things. I mean, we've got our ideas, but equally it would be great to hear from other people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Does that cover it? Yeah, there's quite a lot in there. We spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I'm sure it'll evolve, but that's where we're getting off from anyway. Okay, so I think the next thing we wanted to talk about was a little bit more about our sort of personal experiences, really. So do you want to go first, Gemma, and just talk a little bit about your stories and why you wanted to do this and your experiences of being a mum?
Yeah, can do. I think, well, my first point I think I've already sort of covered, and it was around the loneliness and the isolation of the second maternity leave. And I don't know, the world changed very much from between having Phoebe to Emily, same with you. And I don't know how much of this is sort of COVID related. I mean, I was very lucky in the sense that Emily wasn't a lockdown baby. It was kind of as we were coming out of lockdown, but the world was still a very different place to what it was when I had Phoebe pre-COVID. So I don't know how much of it is related to that, or to the fact that I've now got 2. And I just really, really struggled. I mean, the dynamic from going to 1 to 2 is pretty extreme, really.
Yeah,
it?
Just a bit.
I mean, I think I just got screamed at daily. I couldn't do anything right.
I thought it was going to be much easier because we sort of knew what we were doing with the first one, but it wasn't the case, was it?
No, it wasn't. And for me, I think, again, in the spirit of being really honest, and we throw the word around, but I also want to acknowledge how hard it is to be honest. And I'm really trying here not to edit how I feel, I suppose. And for me, a big part of it was the guilt. How I mean, a few people know anyway, I really struggled to conceive with Phoebe. We tried for I think 3 or 4 years. We had 2 failed IVF rounds. I really, really, really wanted a child. And then I can't believe how lucky I am, even to this day, after all that journey, to have 2. And I still know so many people that are, in that struggle. And I am incredibly lucky, I know that. And so to be on a second maternity leave and kind of looking at my kids thinking, I don't like this, I hate this, I don't want to be here, I want to go back to work, I can do that better, this is awful, I'm obviously not doing anything right, why won't they stop screaming at me, I'm just made me feel so guilty, to the point where it just kind of tears you up a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
And you're not quite sure where to go. And again, that stops the honesty element, because I mean, I feel awful saying here now, how can you stand here and say you hate being a mum and you don't like your own kids? And of course, that's not what you're saying at all. It's just because it's utterly, I mean, you'll all know, it's utterly relentless day in, day out. It was almost like we were being punished for something from a previous life. And I was this close, actually. I think I said to you, I almost rang my boss and went back, because I was like, I'm clearly messing this up badly. And I remember you saying, oh, I'm so glad you didn't. And then the week later, I was so glad I didn't as well. But I didn't think I expected the second time round to be as I want to say as bad as it was, even though it wasn't really that bad, I suppose.
But you're not the only one who feels like that.
No.
I think people don't talk about it a lot, but it's really common.
Yeah, because you feel guilty.
Yeah.
And it's really conflicting. It's like, oh wow, there's this amazing baby, I'm so lucky to be here. Oh my God, I can't do this, I hate this. It's just such a strange, and knowing where you've come from and the journey you've been on, yeah, it's not wonderful, and it really does mess with your head, I think. And I think that's why I found, even when I catch up with people, you'd have a conversation and I'd go to try, and I'm like, no, the words just don't even come out. So then you're kind of battling it all internally, aren't you? And the other thing I found is it was things that are out there for new mums to see, and they're great posts, like fantastic, and I'm not cribbing it, but I remember there was one a couple of months ago actually, and it was 3 things all new mums need, and a designer travel cup and a really fancy expensive changing caddy, and I can't remember the third thing off the top of my head. But I was thinking, wow, is that where we're at? Because for me, if I had to pass something on, it would be, oh, how about getting some really good, nutritious food in the freezer ready, so it's easy to have good meals the other side. Make sure that you actually ask for help, and how hard that will be, but please do ask for help. The support networks, all the real things that you actually need to keep you propped up as a mum.
Yeah.
Not bloody expensive changing caddy. I think that's probably the last thing you need as a new mum. And then it was just got me thinking. It's same as similar stories I've heard around, oh, let's celebrate the mum in Starbucks who's back in her size 10 jeans looking at her reports after 2 weeks. I was like, wow, we've really come such a long way from where we're almost supposed to be as mums. I'm not surprised that we feel the pressure and the struggle that we do. Sorry, I rambled quite a lot.
You haven't at all. I think my experiences have been pretty similar. I know we've had slightly different experiences, but I think there's the themes that come out from the conversations that we have, and the stories that people have shared as well, really, because I was the same as you. I did find it lonely, especially with having the second one, and I did have a really good support network around me. I was really lucky, but I think it's just sometimes a whole effort of going into somewhere public and trying to get the baby there, especially if you've got a baby that is a noisy baby, isn't a content baby. You can fall into a trap quite easily of thinking it's easier just to be at home, and then you end up on your own even more, and it becomes a bit of a cycle, really. So I think that there is support out there, but it's trying to find the one that's right for you, isn't it?
That's a good point.
Because some people might, take comfort from joining a Facebook group. Other people might want to go to a cafe and have a coffee with somebody. For some people, baby groups, they work. Sometimes they don't. It depends.
Because I'm going to say like the dreaded baby group, but it isn't dreaded. That's terrible. But you're right, and I think you kind of make all the efforts to go there, and sometimes if you're not in the right place or your head's not in the right place, it's like you walk in. And I'm going to use the taxi analogy as we've talked about. I don't know what it is sometimes with these groups, and I've probably done it myself, which is awful. But like you get there and I don't know, like when you get in a taxi and you go, oh, have you been busy? What time do you finish? It's like you walk into a baby group and, oh, are they sleeping through yet? Oh, are they crawling? And whatever it is, and if yours isn't at that point and your head's not in that point, I don't know about anyone else, but I just go run in and I think, oh, okay, oh God, oh right. And then by the time I get home afterwards, I'm like, wow, I feel worse than I did before I went. But that's only one example. Don't get me wrong, I've made some great friends in baby groups as well, and they are fantastic. That's not me saying they're bad in any way. I think it's just a dynamic that I know a lot of us have felt, and the people ask questions don't mean it. Like I say, I've probably done it myself.
I think it was more extreme as well, wasn't it, because we had our second children during COVID, and then some of the baby groups were even virtual at that point. I know they did baby sensory and things were all online, so it was trying to navigate through all that was tricky. And I think probably for different generations, you have the same issues in different ways. But yeah, I think the isolation and the loneliness is definitely a theme. Even if you've got people around you, it can feel like a bit of a lonely place, really. And it's just really complex being a mum. I think it took me ages to accept the fact that you can absolutely 100% be having a really rubbish day and be absolutely exhausted and not having a great time, but at the same time be super grateful and appreciate everything that you've got. Those things can happen at exactly the same time, but you feel guilty, and it has taken quite a long time to accept that they can run in parallel to each other. Really, it's a weird thing to describe, but again, I think from people we've spoken to, a lot of people are in the same boat with that, aren't they?
And the mental load.
Yes,
there's loads of posts about this, and you'll all know, but I think I almost feel a bit naive. I wasn't prepared for the actual mental load, especially I posted about it probably in September, I think, the going back to work as well, and the load of everything, just wow. New respect for my mum.
Good old Maggie. And I think the other thing, it's a tricky one, isn't it, with social media as well. Oh, hang on, I've just got the battery.
Oh, go on, I'll find the charger, sorry.
It can look like everything's perfect on social media, can't it? So you get adverts popping up and influencers and so on, and some of them are real life, but other ones aren't. And I think it's just trying to obviously take what you see on social media with a bit of a pinch of salt. But if you're having a bad day, it can be quite hard to do that, really, which is why with the stuff that we're trying to do, we're trying to keep it honest at all times, because there are really good times and really amazing times, but there's also times when it's a bit rubbish, and it's okay to talk about that as well, really. So we're kind of keeping that theme as we go through it all, really.
And just the power of like sharing tips and experiences. Sorry if you've already said it, I was plugging the
no, I didn't.
But in terms of I was going to say, like, people have spoken to me since starting this up, which is lovely, and they're like, but my kids are older, they're not sort of toddler age, they're at school or they're further up in school. And you're right, who do I go to talk to about all this? Where do we sort of thrash out the problems of, because the problems don't like disappear, the challenges are still there, they're just different. And it's like, that's a really good point. And actually, I think there's so much stuff out there, but we don't necessarily know about it unless something goes wrong or one way or the other. So it's kind of how we coordinate the dots and get these support things in place for people.
100%. And there's people that we've known, it's people that we've known for years, isn't there, at work and outside of work, and since they've heard about what we're trying to do, they'll come and speak to us and tell you stories that you have no idea had happened to them. So there's something about just kind of trying to open up those conversations, isn't there?
And the generational thing, because I think my mum's actually in the other room watching this, so I feel a bit bad saying it, but it's like my mum was talking to me about because my mum's worked a lot with I don't know, parenting classes, behavioural things, and I was talking about times you probably relate to, when they just absolutely scream at you and I feel like my ears can't cope and I'm so overwhelmed I don't know what to do. And mum was like, oh, there's the perspex screen technique, and I was talking about something else, or the magic carpet. Okay, what are these? And then she elaborates, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. So how was Phoebe 3.5 and you've only just told me this now? And I think there's an awful lot of sort of generational knowledge. It doesn't necessarily get passed down, or we're not particularly good at sharing it. You might tell me differently. Maybe it is in your families. I don't know. And then I was talking to people at work who were sort of had their kids like 30 years ago, I guess. And some of the challenges that they talk about and the things that they say, I'm like, wow, it's still exactly the same. So in many ways, we sort of haven't moved on either. And I just think there's a real power of passing down that knowledge and sharing the tips 100%. And of course the funny stories. It's always lovely knowing that you're not the only one that got shat on at the rain, isn't it?
And we started like trying to jot some of them down, having like the tips and some of the stories, because you forget them, and we thought actually after a couple of days we had a nice little list of things coming together, didn't we?
That one did make me laugh when I left Emily with Grandma Maggie overnight. First time, I was awful. She didn't sleep, did she? So I rang to check the next morning, got it in the ear. And then I can't remember who wrote it, but they were like, that was your mistake number one, you never ring to check. And I was like, that's a great tip, thank you for that. Yeah.
Never initiate contact.
That's it, yeah.
Love that one. Yeah. Never thought of that one before.
So I think that's it from a introducing us, our experiences, why we wanted to start this and what we're trying to do. Hopefully that made sense and was clear. Questions. I was going to say we've had quite a few questions submitted, so thank you very much
for all of them.
For those. Great. Some of them did make me chuckle.
So she's the first one. Let's just get my list out. So the most asked question that we've had that wasn't actually submitted through questions for this chat, but is how long have we been such good friends for?
Yeah,
that we get asked that all the
every time. Because the answer's not that long.
Very long.
And really it was work first, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a friendship based outside of a working relationship, I suppose, purely because we had kids at the same time. But what does make me laugh is we're very, very different. Yeah, obviously get on great, and I think our skills really complement each other. But we're a bit like Dolly and Cher. Which way round was it?
I'm Dolly and you're Cher.
There we go. So that's it, Dolly and Cher.
We did some personality profiles as part of some of the business training that we did, didn't it? And that was a conclusion.
We did.
Take what you will from that.
So Laura's a night owl. I'm an early bird, not by choice currently, because my youngest won't sleep past bloody 4 a.m. Don't know what it is at 4 a.m, but there we go. And even to the point where it's funny, I scroll arrows everywhere, scribble pen and paper, absolute chaos. And we were on the phone one night working through what we need to do. I was like, right, okay, I'll send you a picture of my page. It's a bit all over the place, but I'm sure I'll be able to follow the arrows. It's fine. If you can't make sense of anything, let me know. Oh, while you've been talking, I'm frantically going on my spreadsheet. Laura's going, and she's been going up and down, organising it all, colour coded.
Keeping us all on track.
Yeah,
it does work, yeah.
But yeah, it's it's just, I find it fun.
But we definitely haven't known each other for as long as people think when they first meet us usually. So we thought we'll box that question off first, because we do get asked that all the time.
Well, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So Laura, what's your favourite thing about being a mum?
There's so many on this one. I think my favourite thing is that if you've had a bit of a rubbish day, whatever, or a long day, you're a bit tired, and you come home and you get a nice cuddle from them, or especially when they get a bit older and their personalities come out and they can have you in absolute stitches, and you end up feeling like you've got a sort of a really nice little family unit. And although you drive each other mad, it's kind of when you come home, that's your sort of place, really. So I love that bit, and seeing them come on through all the milestones is lovely, isn't it? And it's just as fun the second time round, just as they start to garble and all the little things that probably when you're not mum or before you're a mum you don't really think much of, but when it's your kids you just kind of see everything they do and you think they're amazing, don't you?
Yeah, the pride you get.
Yeah.
We did a ballet show last summer with her little friend, and it was just amazing watching them on a little stage with their tutus on and everything, and it was like, I think I literally just welled up. I was like, oh my god, wow, that's my little girl. Yeah, it's lovely.
It's great, isn't it? Right, what have we got next? So how did we meet? There's another one along the same lines about how long we've known each other for. How did we meet, Gemma?
Can't remember.
I can't really remember.
It can work, but
yeah, in a meeting at some point talking about something to do with the NHS.
Possibly running. I think we might have talked about running.
Did we?
In the kitchen.
We were into running at the time.
We were,
when we first met.
And you hallucinated and saw a banana.
Yeah. That was thanks to, he's probably not watching, but maybe Charlie is, to one of our friends getting me into long distance running. Yeah, I did tell you that story years ago. Yeah. You've been better at keeping up with your running than me, though. I haven't been for ages.
What, 110k since Emily?
Much better than me.
What are you most looking forward to with the business?
I think it's been really, really hard work, hasn't it? Like lots and lots of hours so far, but it's learning something new every day, and you kind of, because this is a small business and we have to kind of do all the elements ourselves, we're learning something every single day, aren't we? So that bit's really good. And then it's kind of a new network of people, isn't it? Meeting different types of people, from different people that are working with, working with us from supplier point of view, but just generally, some people on business training, other small businesses, a whole load of new different people. That bit's sort of really nice, and it gives you a bit of energy, doesn't it? And it's massively going into the unknown, because we do have challenging jobs in the NHS as well, but it's kind of, this is challenging in a totally different way. So it almost feels like a different part of your brain. And I'm just excited about that carrying on, really, because it's been good so far.
No, definitely.
What about you?
I'm like that. It's the conversations, it's the variety of the conversations that we have. Like you say, I'm a bit of a geek, I like learning things anyway, but also things that are opening up. I mean, we've had a few people message us around being guests on these live chats, which is really exciting, because I love talking to people, love talking probably. And even just the experiences people have shared with us, and the fact that we can, I don't know, potentially support people and put peer groups together and things like that just really excites me.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Oh, and in terms of where we take the business, I think I said, I would really like a podcast and we can write a survival guidebook. I'm going to be shameless about that one. That would be great.
I'm desperate to do the survival guide because, like I said, just keeping those few notes that we've had and some of the stories and some of the tips are genius. And I think if I'd had some of them when I first became a mum, it would have been brilliant. So yeah, definitely on the same page with that.
Especially the what was it, the chamomile body shop cream? That was amazing.
Yeah,
I had no idea
no.
that you could get paint and all sorts off children with it.
Exactly.
And then apparently someone said it's out of stock, so we're going to have to ask the body shop. Not that we have any influence whatsoever to make sure it's stocked.
Yeah.
All the mums out there.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a coffee one next. So what's the nicest coffee you've ever had and where was it?
Oh, the one that springs to mind for me is it's a Spanish coffee. I can see the packet because it's black with a red label and some picture. It was my friend's, I think, brother sent it over, or her mum and dad picked it up while they're out there because he lives in Spain, and it was in her house and she made it in a mocha pot. And I remember thinking, oh, that's the fanciest thing I've ever seen. And it was really, really, really nice coffee.
Yeah.
So there we are in Nat's house, and it was Spanish.
We'll have to ask Nat. I think for me, oh, go on, sorry.
My second one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, go on.
Yeah. My second one would be this one.
That
No
one.
one's listening to me blend, because obviously the perks are when you get to design your own blend, you obviously really like them. And if I had to choose one that I could get, because obviously I can't get the Spanish one, it would possibly be that one through the AeroPress, just because it makes it really smooth.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not a sales pitch.
It's genuine. We were talking about this the other day about the favourite coffee thing, and I said to you, didn't I, about I actually enjoy going for a drive-through coffee now. It doesn't really matter where it is, it's just the convenience of being able to go when the kids are kicking off, if they're asleep in the car or on the way to work or something, just getting a coffee handed to you through a window. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Not that it's the best coffee in the world, but it's quite, the convenience thing's become more of a thing for me recently.
I remember going through with Phoebe in the back and the dogs in the boot, and I was in pajamas, not that mattered. I remember going home and being like, yes, if nothing else, this is what I achieved. We all left the house.
Yeah. And it's funny as well, isn't it, what you said about because we've worked on these blends for quite a long time now. I genuinely, if I could only have one more coffee forever, I'm slightly different to Gemma, but it's this party all night blend, which is a bit of a kind of more of a pick me at one for the morning. And
you don't do mornings, do you?
I don't really, I'm not great, it takes me a while to get going. But yeah, we've got an espresso machine now, and putting that through there is really nice. So I think that's a good, it sounds a bit sales pitchy, but from our point of view, we're really happy with the blends, which is a good thing, because it's been a lot of work to get there, hasn't it?
Definitely. This other question's a bit random because it's come from my sister. I wouldn't expect anything different. Should my other half let me get a pig? I'll let you answer that one.
Well, I had a counter question to start with, which was, or a bit more information question, which is it a micro pig or a full size pig? Because I think there's a very different answer for each of those. But personally, no matter what size the pig is, I would probably just get a dog. Yeah. I think there were, yeah.
She's already got one. He's terrible. He ate my changing bag last week.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know how a dog and a pig, micro pig, would live together either.
No, dog probably eat it. Sorry, Hal.
Sorry, probably not the answer you wanted, was it? Okay, and then another one. This is from Kerry. And she lived in America for a while, so I think it's a bit of an American phrase, but she wants to know if bangs are hard work to maintain. Which I think is a fringe, isn't it, in the UK?
I'm shocking at hair, if I'm honest. I might have a lot of it, but I'm shocking. In fact, Phoebe told me yesterday that nursery do better hair than I do because they do frozen plaits. So enough
yes. No. And I think I'm not great with my hair either, but I think the key is whatever fringe you have, make sure you can scrape it back because you don't want to do your fringe every morning, especially if you're not great in the morning like me. Sometimes you just want to scrape it back.
Yeah, mum bun.
So I think they were all the questions that we had before. The only other one we had was from somebody called Xavier Delarue, which I've had a bit of a lesson on. He didn't ask a question, he just said, "Hey, tired mum's coffee." But it's made my husband very happy that he commented on our pages, because he's a French big mountain snowboarder. And yeah, he's kind of Adam idolizes him a little bit. So it's really cool. We'll take that one, won't we? So hello, if you are watching, you never know. I think
there was a bit of a dad's thing, really. Anyway, even though we're called tired mums, I think there has been a bit of a dad's thing without meaning to, I suppose. And really, from what you said earlier about making sure we have brand suppliers who align with our values.
Yeah.
It's funny, so sort of mums, I guess. We've got Patrick, who's building our website, but he's a dad of 4. So it's actually really good because he's exactly the same as we are.
Yeah, he is.
So even though
He
he's a
is.
dad, the dynamics that we have the same conversations with him. It's what we do. Obviously, he's a very hands-on dad, and so he still fits the brand really well. And actually, I think he was really excited about it, which is good. So I think there is a role for dads in it as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Is there any other questions from the live? Sorry, I'm just going to scoot closer to the screen because they've
Got some popping up. Let's have a look.
Excuse my face.
Extreme close-up and
I know, sorry, to wriggle it over, I can't read it. So, oh no, I can't see it properly. Hang on. Oh, somebody's asked us, they're on their 4th mat leave, asked for friends to cook and brought meals, so helpful. Yes, absolutely amazing. Yeah. And people will, won't they? I think we're just almost too scared to ask the questions sometimes, but no, that's amazing. 1 to 2 is so hard. Yes, I have to say I would agree. And I think I remember a friend of that person telling me that they've got 4 children, and actually the 1 to 2 they found the hardest jump and cried nearly every day, whereas 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 they didn't. So, or she was just trying to make me feel better. Holly, it's a full size pig.
I definitely wouldn't have. I don't know why you would want to have a full size pig
in the house. All right, the house. Sorry, that's just
I suppose they do eat all your scraps.
Oh no! And then somebody said, "You love the coffee in Italy, Jem. That one coffee in Naples."
Oh, was that one you told me about ages ago?
Yeah, I thought it was genius because I got everyone a coffee for €1. Didn't realise it was an espresso. If I can find the picture, I'll post it on the story just for a laugh because
you're not one
my
for black
face said
coffee,
it all. No, it's bloody disgusting. Never mind. Oh, podcast would be great. Well, we think so.
Yeah, we'd love to do that one day.
Who knows?
Oh, something else is being typed.
I think. Hang on a second. Oh, when coffee going?
When coffee
Sorry.
when coffee going on sale.
Okay, so we've actually got the stock in. We're just we've kind of bottlenecked, but haven't we? Nothing's come together at once. So the coffee's actually arrived. It's here behind us. So I don't know which one this is. The decaf blend. Sorry, I don't know whether this. We did disclaim that it was our first go. So the coffee's all here. All 3 blends are here. They arrived to your house yesterday. We've also got the tote bags. We've got 250 of those at the moment as well. So yeah, so they are available. We'll start doing a bit of information on the stories, will we? Yeah, we can start doing that because we can make them available before the website's launched. Hopefully that'll be soon, but you'll be able to send us a message and buy them before then. So we'll put some information on our social media on that, and we've still got some AeroPresses as well, haven't we? We have. Thanks for your support with those. They've been really popular. So we've got all of that to get us going. So but website as soon as possible. But in the meantime, you can absolutely buy the coffee. It's ready to go. Just drop us a message, but we'll put more info out as we go along. We have done a social media plan up until Wednesday, which I'm actually quite impressed with, but I've just blanked and forgotten what order everything's going out. At some point, they'll be there. We'll get ourselves organised. It's no silly fault for having day jobs, hey? I know, yeah. Is that one about the bags? I think we've covered that one, haven't we? One about the bags. The bags looks nice up there. Nice there. Noticed. It's hanging off the clock. It's one of the big man's clock, but we thought we'd pop it there. So, they are nice, and yes, we'll post more information about it. Oh, thank you. Someone told me we're going from 1 to 2 is like going from running a farm to running a zoo. Yeah, sounds about right. Especially with our second, they're a bit feral, aren't they? They are. There's something about the second ones. I'm sure it seems to be a theme. Oh, the other thing we were going to do tonight was announce. Thank you very much in terms of all the nominations. So obviously, as I think we said before, a big part for us was how we can give something back. And obviously, we're not professionals. We're not the best. All we can do is try and do our best. And part of that is making sure that we can give back to the people that are the professionals and can do a better job than we can. So as you probably know, we've been asking you to vote for which of the local charities, kicks, groups that you think should get the 1% of our coffee sales for the first 6 months. Thank you for all of your nominations and all of your votes. It's been brilliant. I know you've all shared it far and wide, so thanks for that. So we had 8 nominations in the end, which you might have seen if you've seen the poll, and then we had 350 people vote, which we were really happy with. I'd be happy with 6. So thank you for that. And so we have got a winner, so that's the exciting announcement, isn't it, for tonight? Drum roll. So the winner is Thriving Families Together. So they're
a kick that's based in Warrington, and they help new parents feel fulfilled on their parenting journey, and they support parents with them building friendship groups and support networks and so on. So congratulations. Hopefully we'll be able to
50% of the votes.
Yeah, you did, yeah, really well. So we'll be in touch with you to organise the next steps around that, and yeah, congratulations.
And then in 6 months' time, we'll put it all back out again.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll vote again and help us in terms of where we can put the next lot to.
Yeah, wonderful.
So right now, we've probably had enough of us talking. We've
Yeah.
rambled on for enough. It's Friday night. England are playing, as Neil told me. I've inconvenienced everybody.
There's light switch-ons as well, isn't there? So we picked a bit of a bad night, I think. But hey,
but between Halloween, bonfire night, goodness knows what else.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a good one, really, was there? Now we need you to share our story far and wide and our mission. Tell your friends about us. Share our content. Look out for the website. Please buy our products, or get other people to buy our products. Come and say hi if you see us out and about. Please get in touch if you've got stories, any ideas for us and things like that. And please just like and share.
Yeah, and you might even find us at the odd Christmas market.
If we can get our bums in.
Come and say hello if we're there, so we're not on our own, not freezing all day.
Oh. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. I hope you found it useful, and hopefully we've been able to explain a bit more about what it is we're trying to do. We're planning to have a series of these and line them up monthly. Next month, obviously, there's the big Christmas at the end of it, so I think that might be a bit tricky, although we might do a live around. I haven't talked to you about this yet, sorry. I thought we could maybe do a live with some of the products.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Just quickly, seeing as we haven't got the website.
We'll do that.
And then we'll be back in January with a host of chats that hopefully you'll find really interesting. But again, we'll post all about that.
Thank you so much for your support. You've all been amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Evening. Bye.
Good night.